Today on Let Them Talk TV, I'm with John and we're going to take you on a classic rock tour of London. We're going to show you how rock and roll changed the English language. We're going to look at the Beatles,
the Rolling Stones,
Bob Dylan,
Jimi Hendrix,
David Bowie,
Pink Floyd,
The Clash,
and Oasis,
and more, probably. And we're in Mount Street Gardens at the moment. Do you know why I took you here, John?
I don't know.
Not really much to do with rock and roll, apart from the fact that we're close to many of those places that we're going to show you on our tour. But I love it here. It's one of my favourite places in London, and it has a microclimate. Yes, that's right. Because of its proximity and the buildings that surround it, it's just a little bit warmer than other places in London. As you can see from the palm tree behind, I think it's a Japanese palm tree, which grows here but won't grow in other places in the UK.
So
yes, that's right.
Truly tropical.
Yes, so if you're in the neighbourhood, come and check it out. Anyway, we're off to discover some rock and roll. Let's go. If you're planning to follow this guided tour, then you could probably do it in a day, depending on how long you stop at each place. We're starting our tour at Savoy Steps, which is just behind the Savoy Hotel, where Bob Dylan stayed during his 1965 tour of the UK. The nearest underground stations are Charing Cross and Covent Garden.
John is in the basement mixing up the medicine. I'm on the pavement thinking about the government.
And this is where, in 1965, Bob Dylan recorded Subterranean Homesick Blues, a seminal moment in rock history. This was the first ever rap song and one of the most amazing videos, which I can't show you because of copyright reasons, but do check out the video on YouTube. Unfortunately, today they're doing some construction, so unfortunately we can't show you much from the back, but this is, you see the video, Bob Dylan was standing right here and filming the back there with Allen Ginsberg and I can't remember who else in the corner. So I thought I'd read to you one of Bob Dylan's songs, and of course, as I'm sure you know, Bob Dylan is the greatest poet in the English language since Shakespeare. But what I've chosen for you today is just kind of a simple love song, and I just love the sort of imagery he conjures up in it, and it really sort of really plays with your imagination. So it is from the song I Want You. The guilty undertaker sighs, the lonesome organ grinder cries, the silver saxophones say I should refuse you. The cracked bells and washed out horns blow into my face with scorn, but it's not that way, I wasn't born to lose you. I want you, honey, I want you so bad. The drunken politician leaps upon the street where mothers weep, and the sailors who are fast asleep, they wait for you. And I wait for them to interrupt me drinking from my broken cup and ask me to open up the gate for you. I want you, honey, I want you so bad.
I want you so bad.
Want to see more videos with this vibe? Then subscribe. Now we are headed to Soho, to Duck Lane, and it's a pleasant 20-minute walk there from the Savoy. So we are now on Broadwick Street on the corner of Duck Lane, and right behind us is a record shop, but that used to be a pub called the Bricklayers Arms, and above the pub, the first ever gig by the Rolling Stones. So I thought it was a good spot to read you one of my favourite Rolling Stones lyrics. It's from Get Off My Cloud, and it's about a guy who's just trying to relax, stay cool, and it keeps being interrupted, especially by salesmen and people bugging you, and I guess we all know what that's like. So here it is. I live on an apartment on the 99th floor of my block, and I sit at home looking out the window, imagining the world has stopped. Then in flies a guy who's all dressed up just like the Union Jack. Says, I've won £5 if I have his kind of detergent pack. Hey you, get off of my cloud. Hey you, get off of my cloud. Don't hang around because two's a crowd. Yeah, you got that? Sling your hook.
Next, we took a beer at the Ship Pub on Wardour Street, another legendary rock and roll venue. I interviewed Tom behind the bar and he explained some of the history of the pub. Unfortunately, some idiot forgot to switch on the mic, so you can't hear him, but he did tell me that Jimi Hendrix fell down the stairs here. Lemmy of Motorhead was a regular, and so was Eric Clapton, Keith Moon, John Lennon, The Clash, and the band Squeeze. Wow, that must have been quite a night. And when Tom is not behind the bar, he's a writer. I've linked to his books in the description if you want to find out more.
So here we are. So here we are on Berwick Street, and this is the location of the Oasis album What's the Story Morning Glory, photograph right here. And now I'm going to read you some of the great lines from Oasis. Oh, that was short, wasn't it? John, maybe John, maybe you can. I know you're an Oasis fan. Any
yes.
great lines from their songs? Poetry, words of wisdom.
Poetry, words of wisdom. You're my Wonderwall. You are my Wonderwall.
You're my Wonderwall.
Yes.
Anything else?
Champagne Supernova.
Is that the name of a song or is that a lyric?
It's the name of a song.
Okay.
But I think they say it actually in the song.
Okay. Yeah. Well, there you have it. Okay. Some great words of wisdom from Liam Gallagher.
Yes.
And his brother, who wrote the song.
Google tells me it's a mere 4-minute walk to our next destination, Rupert Court.
Okay, here we are in Rupert Court in Soho, where on the 2nd of July 1963 the Beatles did a photo shoot right here, and we're trying to recreate it here. And believe it or not, it's absolutely true. We've got John here and Yoko behind the camera. Say hello, Yoko. And we couldn't find George anywhere, but I found Ringo.
Hi there.
What's your name?
Anton.
Anson. Okay, but for today is Ringo. Okay, so there we are. So I was thinking about which song of the Beatles I should read to you, and I decided to choose one by George Harrison. I just like it. It's quite kind of funny. It's quite humorous, and it's written for the album Revolver in 1966. And at that time, the Beatles had become world famous, but they realised that most of their money was going away in tax. So George Harrison wrote this song called Taxman. Let me tell you how it will be. There's one for you, 19 for me, 'cause I'm the taxman. Yeah, I'm the taxman. Should 5% appear too small, be thankful I don't take it all, 'cause I'm the taxman. Yeah, I'm the taxman. If you drive a car, I'll tax the street. If you try to sit, I'll tax your seat. If you get too cold, I'll tax the heat. If you take a walk, I'll tax your feet, because I'm the tax man. Yeah, I'm the Taxman. Don't ask me what I want it for if you don't want to pay some more, because I'm the Taxman and you're working for no one but me.
It's a noisy 2-minute walk to our next destination as we enter Chinatown.
So John, we are in Chinatown on Gerard Street in front of Dublin's legend. Why are we here?
I don't know.
Because there's a very famous song, an iconic song about London called Werewolves of London, and in it he mentions Li Ho Fuk's Chinese restaurant, Cantonese restaurant. That closed down in 2007 and it's been replaced by Dumpling's legend. But it's still here, and I'm going to read for you the first verse of Werewolves of London by Warren Zevon. Are you ready?
I saw a werewolf with a Chinese menu in his hand, walking through the streets of Soho in the rain. He was looking for the place called Li Ho Fuk's, for to get a big dish of beef chow mein.
Ahoo! Werewolves of London. Ahoo! Werewolves of London. Ahoo! Werewolves of London.
It's a smart 10-minute walk to our next destination as we exit Soho and head towards Mayfair.
Now we're on Heddon Street, a little homage to David Bowie, who shot the album cover for Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders of Mars right here behind me, and the back of the album that was shot in a telephone box round the corner, which I'll show you in a minute. Okay, so David Bowie stood inside the telephone box on the back of the cover of Ziggy Stardust, and I was going to do the same, but unfortunately it's just full of crap. So obviously lots of David Bowie fans around because it's full of graffiti related to the great man. Okay, so John, you've got something from David Bowie, haven't you?
I have, yeah, I've got Starman.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I will. Didn't know what time it was, the lights were low. I leaned back on my radio. Some cat was laying down, some rock and roll, a lot of soul, he said. Then the loud sound did seem to fade, came back like a slow voice on a wave of phase. That weren't no DJ, that was hazy cosmic jive. There's a starman waiting in the sky. He'd like to come and meet us, but he thinks he'd blow our minds. There's a starman waiting in the sky. He's told us not to blow it, 'cause he knows it's all worthwhile. He told me, let the children lose it, let the children use it, let all the children boogie.
Our next destination is just around the corner, 3 velvety minutes on foot.
We're now in Saville Row, where the Beatles gave their final performance for Let It Be, right here on the top of this building.
I've got a feeling that keeps me on my toes.
The concert took place on the 30th of January 1969, and crowds gathered on Saville Row and in the streets around. Not everyone was happy with the performance, and some irate neighbours called the police, who threatened to arrest the Beatles if they didn't cease playing. Of course, you can see more about this on the film Let It Be, which was released in 1970, and the 7-hour documentary Get Back, released in 2021. When the Beatles started rehearsing for the concert, they didn't know where it would take place. The director, Michael Lindsay Hogg, pushed for Sabrata in Libya, but this was vetoed by George Harrison. Other possible venues included the Royal Albert Hall, the Roundhouse in Camden, the Tate Gallery, and the Houses of Parliament. In the end, they just popped out onto the rooftop of the studio in Saville Row. There were cameras filming the event on the roof as well as on the street to capture the mood of the public.
Fabulous, definitely. Fantastic.
It's a silky 8-minute walk to our next destination. Here on Brook Street, you'll find the Hendrix Handel Museum. Handel lived at number 25 Brook Street and Jimi Hendrix at number 23. Was Jimi popping round Handel's house next door to play with his organ? Probably not, as they lived more than 200 years apart. But this museum celebrates both of their lives. Unfortunately, at the time of recording, it was closed for renovation until May 2023. If you're watching after that date, then go check it out, because we couldn't show you. Instead, I'll play a few bars from one of the legends of Baroque and roll. Here you are. We're taking Jimi with us on our next stop to Montagu Square, which is a smooth 16-minute walk away. This is one of the world's most legendary rock and roll residences. Listen to this. Ringo Starr lived there in 1965. Then Paul McCartney rented it from Ringo Starr. When McCartney gave up the flat in December 1966, Starr sublet it to Chas Chandler, the former bass player of The Animals, and he invited Jimi Hendrix and his girlfriend to move into the basement flat. Some months later, Jimi Hendrix was evicted from the property by Ringo Starr after the neighbours complained about the noise. John Lennon lived there with Yoko Ono in 1968 while the White Album was being written. While we were filming outside, the door opened, and believe it or not, a legend from the world of tailoring opened the door. I'll let him continue the story.
John Lennon moved in with Yoko Ono as well, so they were living here for a while.
Can I ask who you are?
Henry Rose.
And you're living in the house right now?
Working in the house. We're making clothes downstairs, suits.
Tell us more.
I'm telling you. What else do you want to know?
Because you told us that you made suits for
Paul
McCartney.
Paul McCartney, Stella McCartney, Madonna, David Bowie, Mike Tyson, Gwyneth Paltrow, Rihanna, goes on.
I'll be back for the suits.
Sure, no problem.
We took a photo earlier. I was sitting on the steps because we have Jimi Hendrix sat on these very steps.
Correct. He was here as well, yeah, but he got chucked out.
Oh, he got chucked out?
Apparently.
Okay. He wrote The Wind Cries Mary here.
Correct. You know why?
Why?
Well, he had a row with a girl called Mary, I think it was her name, and she walked out and then he wrote the song.
Oh, is that right?
So
okay.
they say. I don't know. It's what I've heard.
And I read Eleanor Rigby was written here.
They say it was, yeah. With Paul, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So this is a legendary house.
Yeah.
This is the rock and roll house of all rock and roll houses.
It's a rock and roll house, yeah.
Yeah, and now you are worthy.
And I've done a full circle, yeah.
Okay.
If you like.
So we're at the cafe now, John, and I thought I'd share with you one of my favourite songs by Jimi Hendrix. It's called Red House, and it's a 12-bar blues song, and it just illustrates sort of the humour of the man. So here we are, Red House. There's a red house over yonder, that's where my baby stays. There's a red house over yonder, that's where my baby stays. Well, I ain't been home to see my baby in 99 1/2 days. About time I see her. Wait a minute, there's something wrong here. The key won't unlock the door. Wait a minute, something's wrong, baby. Lord have mercy, this key won't unlock this door. Something's going on here. I have a bad feeling that my baby don't live here no more. That's all right. I still got my guitar. Look out now. I might as well go on back down, go back across yonder over the hill. I might as well go back over yonder, way back over yonder, across the hill. That's where I came from. Because if my baby don't love me no more, I know her sister will. Thank you.
We're taking the Beatles with us on our next trip, an effortless 10-minute walk to Marylebone Station. Do not pass go, do not collect £200.
So here we are at Marylebone Station, and if you've seen the film A Hard Day's Night, you'll recognise this because it's where the Beatles ran from here through the entrance there, followed by screaming female fans. The entrance now is Marks and Spencer's. And yes, by the way, it's pronounced Marylebone. If you have any doubts about pronunciation of London landmarks, then do check out our other video on that subject. Yeah.
If you watch the opening sequence of A Hard Day's Night, you'll catch more clips of the Fab Four frolicking in Marylebone Station. From Marylebone Station, it's a last 36-minute walk to our next stop, which is Chalk Farm. I do recommend that you go there on foot if you have the time, because it's a beautiful walk through Regent's Park.
John, you know I have an affinity to Camden Town. I grew up not far from here. I went to school in Camden Town. I worked at Camden Market over there, and I lived in Camden too. And one of the most famous places in this neighbourhood that many people don't know about is this legendary kebab shop, the Marathon Kebab Shop. And you think it's just a nondescript kebab shop, but no. Back in the day, in the 90s, when pubs had to, by law, close at 11 p.m. After 11 p.m. you had to find a place to drink because, you know, unless you wanted to go to a club, everywhere else was illegal. And Marathon had a secret drinking den at the back. Yes, that's right. And I used to drink there, and apparently, didn't meet her, but Amy Winehouse used to drink there before she was famous. Oasis, they did a little set in the drinking den, and so did Paul Weller. So if you're in Camden, look out for it, but unfortunately you can't drink there anymore. They've closed down the drinking den, but you can still get kebabs, burger, fish and chips, pizza and falafel. What more do you want? Amy, fancy seeing you here. Fancy going for a beer at the Hawley Arms? It's one of your favourite watering holes, isn't it? You do? Okay, let's go.
They tried to make me go to rehab. I said no, no, no.
Of course, Amy Winehouse lived, drunk and died in Camden. You'll see Amy-inspired graffiti wherever you look. Her soul lives on around the streets of Camden Town.
So here we are in Camden Market, Camden Stables Market, and in this very spot is where Dash took their photo for their first album, The Clash, right here. I think Joe Strummer was standing more or less where I'm standing now, and you have Mick Jones and George Simenon.
Gideon, why are you wearing a Bob Dylan t-shirt?
Well, actually, I did order a Clash t-shirt to reach me while I was in London, but it didn't arrive. Thanks to a not to be mentioned famous online retailer, they didn't get it to me on time, so I had to do another one with Bob. Darling, you've got to let me know, should I stay or should I go? If you say that you're mine, I'll be here until the end of time. So you've got to let me know, should I stay or should I go? It's always tease, tease, tease. You're happy when I'm on my knees. One day it's fine and next it's black. So if you want me off your back, well, come on and let me know. Should I stay or should I go? Should I stay or should I go now? If I go, there will be trouble. But if I stay, it will be double. So come on, let me know. Should I stay or should I go?
Next we're headed to Abbey Road, which is a scenic 40-minute walk. And if you do decide to walk it, then you can do it most of the way along the canal, which is extremely pleasant.
So here we are at Abbey Road, the famous crossroads where the Beatles crossed. And as you can see, it's kind of a mecca for Beatles tourists from all over the world. And so it's full of tourists and lots of irate motorists who have to slow down and avoid people standing in the roads. So what am I going to say? I suppose I should cross too, shouldn't I, John?
I think
just do that. I should cross. I'm going to cross. So, Abbey Road. So, John, we're almost at the end of our journey. Looks like we've run out of time. Apologies to any Pink Floyd fans out there, because we were supposed to go up to Battersea to record there. But I think you're going to read some Pink Floyd lyrics, aren't you?
I am indeed, yes.
But even if we went to Battersea, all we would see would be the power station. And I'll just put an image of the power station on the screen, and you can read a few lines of Pink Floyd.
I've got another brick in the wall, and I'd just like to add I'm very disappointed we didn't go to Battersea Power Station and throw a pig up in the air and take a picture. It's terrible.
Ran out of time.
Ran out of time.
For the
next video. Let's do it for the next video. Okay, so we don't need no education, we don't need no thought control, no dark sarcasm in the classroom. Teacher, leave them kids alone. Hey teacher, leave them kids alone. All in all, it's just another brick in the wall. All in all, you're just another brick in the wall.
Should it be leave those kids alone rather than leave them kids alone? Is it grammatically incorrect?
It is grammatically incorrect, yes, you're right. Well picked up. It should be leave those kids alone.
I think you should write a strongly worded message to Roger Waters.
I think I might do, yeah. But apparently, according to them, you don't need no education, so...
and that's a double negative.
Indeed, that's a double negative as well.
So shouldn't it be we don't need any education?
That's very true, yeah.
Okay, alright. Oh, yeah. Fail their GCSEs.
Yes. They wouldn't ever become English teachers.
No, I don't think so. I hope you enjoyed that video, and if you want to see more videos like that, then let us know in the comments. And from me and from John, goodbye.
Bye.
It's no reverse. They can't see you. There's no point waving. Okay.
So, Gideon, where are we going?
Well, let's stay here, but it's all greyed out.